Good evening, everyone. Please be seated. And I welcome everybody tonight to the AGM of the council. Item number 1 is going to be my speech as retiring chair of the council. So, elected mayor, councillors and officers, as I retire from my role as chair, I would like to express my appreciation to the whole council chamber for appointing me last year to serve in this capacity. It has been a great and incredible honour and privilege. I am truly grateful for the trust and support you have all shown me throughout my tenure. I hope you all feel that in my role chairing the council meetings, I have been fair and even in my decision making, and I have given everyone the chance to take part in any discussions, particularly those newer members on the council. Being chair of the council offers the opportunity to go out and represent the council in the wider community and experience firsthand the incredible projects, services and voluntary activity that exists in North Tyneside. Not only am I proud to have represented our borough as chair, I am also proud to live here in North Tyneside. I am pleased to be able to tell you all that North Tyneside is full of great people doing great things for others, from small groups raising funds for individuals or causes to volunteers working in larger groups supporting the whole community. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank each of those groups and individuals for the work they do to help others and to make North Tyneside a better place to live. As you may know, I chose to support Acorns as my chosen charity during my term as chair. This group works to help families suffering domestic abuse, and particularly the children of those families. I'm pleased to announce that they will be receiving £12,436 towards their fantastic work, and I would like to thank everyone, members, officers, and all those who contributed to this great cause. I would also like to thank all those officers who have supported me and have been there for me over the last year, especially officers from Democratic Services and Legal, who have supported me prior to and during council meetings, making sure I was on time, keeping me right with legal issues, and giving me such good advice and guidance, and at times simply giving me a nudge to remind me to breathe. I would also like to thank all the officers and staff across the council for the great work they do for the residents of our borough. As I said earlier, I have met many groups over the last year, and many of them have told me of the support they get from the council staff in some way or other and how much they appreciate it. So I want to take this time to say a big thank you to our staff on their behalf. I would also particularly like to thank care staff, either be council staff, the NHS, staff who work in care homes and those who do home visits, for their work to support our residents in whatever need they may have. Representing North Tyneside as chair has been an opportunity I have thoroughly enjoyed and one I will not forget. I will miss the role greatly, and once again thank you all for the opportunity you gave me. I could go on and say a lot more. It's been such a busy and interesting year, but you will probably be pleased to know I'm going to wind up soon. I just have 2 more thanks to give. My first thanks goes to Councillor Nigel Huscroft, who has been my deputy over the last year and has given me great help and support in the last year. I'm sure he will do well as chair, and I wish him all the very best for the year ahead. Finally, I would like to thank my consort and wife, it's the same person, Debbie, for her support and help over the last year, and our son Daniel for putting up with me and helping me with many IT issues. Thank you very much. Okay, we now move on to first item, which is the placement, the calling of the election of chair. Sorry. Can I invite nominations for the position of chair to be? I think Frank Lott, you're moving this.
Thank you, Chair. I'm more than happy to propose Councillor Nigel Huscroft as Chair of the Council for the next municipal year. Nigel was first elected to the Council as a Liberal Democrat in 1987. That's 38 years ago. That's even half of my lifetime. He eventually became leader of his group in 2010 when both members agreed that it was his turn. During his time with the Lib Dems, I recall that he was a strong advocate for education, an interest he developed after leaving school, evidently. When the time came for the much respected Councillor Marion Huscroft to leave the Council, Nigel had a decision to make, and after a short break, he joined the Labour Party, going on to become a councillor for Backwith and Holystone Ward. Wendy and I attended Nigel's 70th birthday party at the Lindisfarne Club a little while back. Well, actually, it was quite a few years ago now. And I couldn't help but marvel at how many friends he appeared to have, until I was tipped off that he'd invited the entire walking club that he's a member of. He is now a chair of that walking club, and I hope that's the only place he'll allow rambling, certainly not in this chamber. Nigel's wife, Veronica, or as most of us call her, Von, shares his interest in walking, but they're also keen cyclists, with Von regularly cycling 60 miles on a day's outing. This athleticism was clearly a major consideration for our group when considering the nominations for positions of chair and consort, because at the time we were going into the mayoral elections with the prospect of electing a Conservative mayor who would vow to do away with the civic car. Clearly, in such circumstances, Nigel and Von were the best equipped to get to and back from events across the North East. I suppose I should mention what it is about Nigel that I think equips him to carry out this role. He's a man with sound values and a good understanding of the service we provide as a council. He's a devoted family man. As I said earlier, he's very interested in education and how it delivers prospects for young people. And he is clear and fair-minded. And importantly, he will have Von by his side. Together, I think they'll make great ambassadors for our borough, and I wish them all the best for the forthcoming year. Chair, I propose Nigel Huscroft as chair of this council. Thank you.
I'm going to second, and is it all right if I just say a little something? So I've only known Nigel for a year as a ward colleague, but he's always been really approachable and helpful. And I think Nigel will be an excellent chair for North Tyneside Council.
Any further nominations? Councillor Huscroft. Oh, we'll have to go to the vote. Okay. So can we open the vote? That's 43 votes for, 5 abstentions. So I declare Councillor Huscroft elected as chair of the council.
Six.
Microphone.
I, Nigel Huscroft, having been elected to the office of Chair of the Council of the Borough of North Tyneside, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will dutifully and faithfully fulfil the duties therefore of according to the best of my judgment and ability. Right, thank you. On item 2 now, which is the election of deputy chair. Can I invite nominations for the position of deputy chair? I believe Councillor Steve Cox is.
Yes, Chair. I'd like to move Councillor Tracy Hallway as Deputy Chair of the Council. I've known Tracy for many years now, and I've had the opportunity to work with her as a ward colleague. And I've always been very impressed by the way she interacts with the community and the residents, and she's so committed to doing a great job for the residents of Camperdown Ward. It's been nice to learn a lot of things from her over this because she was elected before I was, and it should be a great ward councillor. So I think I would like to nominate her as chair, deputy chair of the council.
Thank you. Do you have a seconder? I believe that's Councillor Joan Walker.
I too got to know Tracy back when she was standing in the election. We started off in Matalan in August, and she was successful in winning her seat, and then made a habit of winning local elections councillor. The last 4 years have seen Tracy become a strong advocate for residents, not only in Burden, but everywhere in our villages. And as we develop the Northwest Plan, which Tracy has helped develop, she has helped also to include an active community cooperation. She's also shown particular talent for hot weather. As we know, we had the election for mayor on the 1st of May on a very hot day, while I was sweltering in the sun on election day, needing my oven gloves to open letterboxes to deliver leaflets. Tracy was passing me by as if it was an ordinary Sunday stroll and powering past. When not working, Tracy enjoys coaching football in all weathers to include the weather scheme, and her youngest son plays football and has recently been part of the Skegness football tournament. Tracy brings all these abilities to her role as deputy chair, as well as her professional skills as a teacher of 11 to 16-year-olds, as they develop into reluctant teenagers, and as a result can diffuse challenging situations. She's a good listener, bringing a sense of calm to navigate and reach conclusions. With all these skills and knowledge, Tracy will make an excellent deputy chair, in my opinion, and develop into a brilliant asset for North Tyneside Council, and therefore support Tracy in a new role as deputy chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Is there any other nominations? We will go to the vote on that, and thank you. Forty-four for and 5 against. So therefore, Councillor Holloway is elected as deputy chair.
I, Tracy Hallway, having been elected to the office of Deputy Chair for the Council of the Borough of North Tyneside, hereby declare that I take the said office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties thereof according to the best of my judgment and ability.
We're now on item 3, which is a vote of thanks to the retiring chair. I believe Councillor Grayson, you're taking it.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. It's at this moment, I really wish I'd listened to Councillor Cox's retirement speech, but let's move on. Chair, Council, could I, first of all, sorry, Chair, could I just congratulate you on your election as Chair of the Council and the Deputy Chair on her election. I'm sure you'll be great servants of the Borough, thoroughly deserved position, so congratulations. And also I'd like to congratulate newly elected Mayor Karen Clark on her election as well, so congratulations. It's my privilege and honour to move the vote of thanks for the retiring Chair of the Council to Councillor Stephen Cox. He's attended over 67 events, and I know there's been lots of other meetings, briefings, and probably many others that I'm not aware of as well. And he's been a great servant to the borough, attending all of those events. However, I think at this point, I do also need to thank his consort wife, Debbie Cox, because having known Steve over a number of years, I'm 100% certain he would never have got to that many events without Debbie organising him. And I know she'll be watching online. So hi, Debs. So thank you to your consort for all the hard work she did in getting you to the events. But when I've heard about the events that Councillor Cox's consort have attended, they weren't just there in presence. They were actually polite, enthusiastic, and genuinely interested in the occasion. I mean, even after the 3rd cup of tea or the 30th handshake, I like positive reports from everybody, and I know they will have gone down well. They brought purpose and presence to every event, and I know your quick wit, sense of humour will have come to the fore at every event. Although I'm not sure what Princess Anne will have made of it when she met you at that occasion. Your ability to connect with people will have come to the fore. I'm sure that's why you got on well with, as you call them, the chain gang, all of the other civic dignitaries. And I know, talking to you and Debbie, that you've made new friendships and that you will maintain these. So you really have been a great advocate of the borough of North Tyneside. You represented the borough a wide variety of events, including the D-Day landings. Oh no, sorry, the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings, because I know Debbie is definitely not old enough. It's been a great, I know it'll have been a great honour for you, acknowledging the sacrifices made by so many at these events. So, also, I know, and I was actually genuinely listening, I know you mentioned your charity Acorns, which supports families affected by domestic abuse in North Tyneside and Numberland, a great choice of charity, and I'm sure the money that's been raised will be well used and a very worthwhile charity. So thank you, Councillor Cox and consort, for the work that you've done raising money for that very important charity. I also need to congratulate you on your chairing of full council meetings. Not an easy task, particularly in the last year in the run-up to the mayoral election. And it was particularly well done. Obviously, it's lots of different opinions on what should be done and what should be said, but I think you chaired the meetings even-handedly and fairly, and a very sensible and thorough approach with dignity and respect to everybody in the chamber, which is also an important task of the chair. So as well as all of the events and the charity work and the chairing of meetings, I think you've been an excellent representative of the Borough of North Tyneside, thoroughly well deserved after all of the years' service you have given as a councillor to North Tyneside. So I'm honoured, delighted, privileged to be moving the vote of thanks to the retiring chair of the council, Councillor Steve Cox, and I hope you, and more importantly, Debbie, have a less busy year. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor. Have we have a seconder for that?
Second, Chair.
Councillor Colin Johnson. Councillor Johnson, were you indicating to speak? Sorry.
Seconded, Chair, but I will not speak, Chair.
Thank you, Colin. Therefore, I'd ask the leaders of the political groups who'd like to speak at this point. Councillor Bones.
Thank you, Chair. And can I also congratulate you and the new Deputy Chair on your elections this evening? I'd like to put on record the Conservative Group's thanks to Councillor Cox for the way he has acted throughout the last year, particularly in chairing council and making sure that the opposition's voices have been heard in the run-up to full council meetings. I'm sure that our new chair and deputy will do the same, but I'll put on record that we are very grateful for Councillor Cox's work over the past 12 months.
Thank you, Councillor Bones.
Thank you, Chair. I will make a full thanks in my Mayor's announcement speech, but just to say a huge thank you to Councillor Cox and his consort, Debbie Cox, for the amazing work they've done chairing the meeting and representing the borough across the region. Thank you.
Take that to the vote, please.
There's a motion.
Right, we now go on to item 4, which is apologies for absence. I have received apologies from Councillor Drummond, Murphy, Harrison, McAlpine, Graham, Perkinshaw and Wallace. Is there any more apologies for absence?
Councillor Lewis Bartoli and Councillor Ollie Scargill.
Councillor Tom Bailey's been held up getting here, but he's hoping to get here. But unfortunately, he's going to be late.
Thank you very much. Can I, well, on item 5, declarations of interest and dispensations. Can I remind members if they have any registrable or non-registrable interests in the matters appearing on the agenda, and that the nature of the interest they must verbally declare in respect of any items of business to be discussed at this meeting, and the nature of such interests. You are also invited to disclose any dispensation from the requirements to declare any registrable or non-registrable interests that have been granted to you in respect of any matters appearing on the agenda. Does any member have any interest to declare? Thank you. Moving on to item 6. Can I ask the council to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 13th of March 2025? The minutes have been previously circulated. I would like to advise council that I am moving the agenda item 17, elected mayor's announcements, to the agenda item 9 on this agenda. And then it would be processed as stated, and then it would proceed as stated. Item 7, mayoral elections, 1st of May 2025. Can I ask the council to receive the return of the mayor following the mayoral election held on the 1st of May 2025, which is attached to the council agenda? And can I congratulate the mayor on her election success? Now go to item 8. This is addressed by the elected mayor, including cabinet composition and delegation scheme.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Oh,
Yes, that's sorry. Continue.
sorry about that. Thank you, Chair. Yes, the details of the cabinet and portfolio areas and responsibilities have been circulated along with the agenda. I look forward to working with the cabinet, and I know that they will be as determined as I am to achieve and deliver on the priorities of the residents of North Tyneside. Thank you, Chair.
Right, now go to item 9. Can I now invite the elected mayor to make any further announcements?
Thank you, Chair. First of all, I'd like to say I'm delighted and deeply honoured to be North Tyneside elected mayor. I would like to thank our residents for putting their trust in me and for giving me their vote. This is, of course, the 4th consecutive time that residents have voted for a Labour mayor to run North Tyneside Authority. I'm extremely proud to be in this important position. I would like to take the opportunity to thank a number of people. Firstly, to our retiring mayor, Dame Norma Redfern, who has kept the authority in good shape and has made fantastic achievements on behalf of our residents for the past 12 years. Also, a big thanks to Pat Oliver, who you know has recently retired after 13 years of service as an elected member. Not only has Pat been a fantastic ward councillor, working hard for our residents, but she's also done a tremendous job in other key roles, including chair of the council. Also, many thanks to Councillor Steve Cox and his consort Debbie Cox for the great work they've carried out, not only to represent the borough, but for raising over £12,000, as Councillor Cox has already described. So well done for that. For the Acorns, which is the local charity. To our Deputy Chairman, Councillor Nigel Huscroft, and his consort, Veronica Huscroft, I thank you. Congratulations on your appointment as Chairman of North Tyneside Council, and I look forward to hearing about the actions you undertake during your year in office. I'd also like to thank all of our hardworking teams, from our interim Chief Executive and Strategic Leadership team, to those who've been at the front end of service delivery, but also those who are behind the scenes, keeping our facilities clean and well maintained. Please know that your efforts are greatly appreciated. As we move into a new council year, I'm determined that my cabinet and the wider council will build on our achievements of the past 12 years and deliver the things that matter most to our residents. With the support of this council, we can make our ambitious plans and vision for North Tyneside a reality. I do hope that you will all help to support these plans as they start to roll out. And as promised, these plans will be shaped by working together with our residents, our communities and businesses. We'll have a focus on building neighbourhoods and town centres that are clean, green, safe, secure places, places of which we can all be proud. Working with local people and organisations for a healthier, fairer and better quality of life for everyone. Giving our children and young people the best start in life. And increasing jobs, expanding skills provision and work experience opportunities for our young people. And delivering more affordable and social housing to meet the needs of local people. Work will start shortly on a full new council plan, which will be shaped by listening to the views of residents, businesses and vibrant communities across the whole of North Tyneside. I aim to build on past achievements and look at how we continue to change and grow to meet the needs of residents and the challenges we all face going forward. I want to ensure the residents of North Tyneside that I will work together and to the best of my abilities for all residents of this borough to make it an even better place for everyone. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Mick. Karen Clark, thank you. We're now on to item 10, leaders of the political groups. As for the leader of the Labour group,
Absolutely delighted to announce the elected Mayor Karen Clark will be the leader of the Labour group.
and can I ask for the Conservative group leader, please?
Yes, it's Councillor Liam Hawkes as leader of the Conservative group.
Thank you. Can I ask for the names of the deputy leaders of each political group to be announced, please? Labour group
Yes, Chair, that is Councillor Carl Johnson.
and the Conservative group.
It's Councillor John Johnson.
Thank you. We now move on to item 12, the annual review of the Constitution. Agendas pages 20 to 27 to 186. Can I invite Councillor Carl Johnson to move the recommendations as set out in the report?
Thank you, Chair. All local authorities are required to have a constitution, a document which covers a range of important governance matters. It sets out the authorities' approach to decision making, delegated processes, standing orders, and have a code of conduct for elected members. North Tyneside Council Constitution is reviewed at least annually. There is an established process for this review. A politically balanced Constitution task group is convened to look at every proposed change in detail, and the Constitution task group is supported by officers who give professional advice regarding all suggested changes which have been put forward. Following the most recent review, the task group agreed that a number of changes are necessary to ensure the Constitution is up to date and that those changes should go forward to annual council for a decision. In the report before council this evening, these proposals are set out in some detail. The changes reflect the legal requirements which must be complied with and good practice which has been recommended by the authority. To ensure that our Constitution remains up to date and fit for purpose, it is recommended that all changes set out in the report before council this evening are agreed. Thank you.
Do you have a seconder?
Only second.
Are there any questions? I now invite members to speak to the motion. Just a reply. Therefore, we go to the vote. I hope that continues because that's unanimous. I hope we'll have the rest of the year the same. Thank you. Now on to item 13, annual appointments 2025 to 26. The agenda pages 187 to 196. Supplementary agenda has been circulated in the chamber. And I invite the elected mayor to move the recommendations.
Thank you, Chair. Before I do that, can I apologise for forgetting to congratulate Councillor Tracy Halloway on her appointment as Deputy Chair of the Council. Congratulations, Tracy. In relation to agenda item 13, annual appointments 25-26. This report requests Council approve the appointments to its various committees and subcommittees for the 2025-26 municipal year, including the allocation of seats to political groups and the appointment of chairs and deputy chairs. It also sets out the appointment of representatives to serve on non-executive outside bodies, the details of which are in the papers that have been circulated, as the Chair explained. I ask the Council to approve the recommendations as set out in section 1.2 of this report. Thank you.
Do you have a seconder?
Second, reserve the right to
Councillor
speak, Chair.
Carl Johnson. Are there any other nominations for the roles of chairs and deputy chairs of the committees? If there are, I will deal with those committees by committee ahead of the discussions and asking council to vote on the remainder of the recommendations made in the report. Please, can you make any alternative nominations now? In making your nominations, please only provide the name of the committee, whether it is the role of chair of deputy chair, and that the committee and the alternative councillor be nominated. I do not expect any speeches at this point on alternative nominations. Councillor Bones.
Thank you, Chair. We'd like to nominate Councillor Dave Lilly for Chair of Family Friendly.
Right, so we'll go to the vote. Can we have the vote for Councillor Joan Sharp? Joan Sharp, sorry. Sorry, 45 in favour, 5 against. Now we go to Councillor Lilly as chair. That's 45-4. Sorry, 45 against and 5-4.
Councillor Sharp is elected.
So Councillor Joanne Sharp is elected the family friendly chair. Are there any other nominations for the appointments or representatives of outside bodies? If there are, I will deal with these one by one ahead of the discussions and asking council to vote on the remainder of the recommendations made in the report. Please, can you make any alternative nominations now? If making your nominations, please only provide the name of the body of the alternative councillor to be nominated. I do not expect speeches at this point on alternative nominations. I am now returning to the substantive report. Are there any questions? I am now invite members to speak to the motion. Councillor Bones.
Thank you, Chair. We'd just like to put on record that it's incredibly disappointing that once again the Labour group have decided that it's their place to chair and deputy chair every single scrutiny committee. If that isn't the perfect example of marking your own homework, I don't know what is. I think particularly given the election results that we've just had, the Mayor and the Labour group might be willing to be a little bit more open with the opposition parties coming forward and bringing in new ideas. I think particularly given that they've effectively secured the spaces on the gravy train of 20 of their councillors without allowing a single member of the opposition to have one of those chair or deputy roles. It's particularly disgraceful. We'd like to put that on record. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Bones. Does the mover of the motion wish to exercise the right of reply?
Just go to the vote, Chair.
In that case, can we go to the vote? That's 45 for, 5 against. That means the motion is carried. Now on item 14, the annual report of the Overview and Scrutiny Committee 2024-25. I would like to invite the Chair of the Overview and Scrutiny Coordinating and Finance Committee for the 2024-25, Councillor Jim Montague.
Thanks, Chair, and congratulations to you and to your deputy and to the new mayor on your appointments. Hope you have a good year, everyone. I'm really pleased to introduce this Overview and Scrutiny Annual Report for the past year. For context, in May, which many of you will know already, in May 23, Council agreed a new committee structure for scrutiny of Tyneside. This reflects good practice that was recommended by the Centre for Governance and Scrutiny. The report before Annual Council this evening is the second annual report under the new scrutiny committee structure. It provides a summary of the work of the Overview and Scrutiny Coordination and Finance Committee and its 5 subcommittees during 24-25. The report describes the wide breadth of topics which have been considered under the scrutiny function over the last year, and also the way in which scrutiny has been the process of scrutiny, different processes of scrutiny. Scrutiny is cross-party. All members of different political persuasions have taken part in scrutiny, and everybody has had their say and been listened to. It's intended to support good decision making by local authorities. I believe it does that. The new committees have worked hard to develop scrutiny and to implement the good practice highlighted by the Centre for Governance and Scrutiny 2024. In particular, we've sought to develop our focus as a critical friend. Again, that's involved all parties, and this should continue in 25-26. As you'll see from the report, there's been some really strong work, again, cross-party. Everybody's had their say. As Chair of the Overview and Scrutiny Coordination and Finance Committee during 24-25, I would like to thank elected members, co-opted members, officers, representatives of our partner organisations for their support and contributions to the scrutiny process over the past year. So thanks, everybody. Council is recommended to note the annual report.
Thank you, Councillor. Are there any questions? I now invite the members to speak to the report. Thank you, Councillor Montague, for the. Now we'll move on to item 15, the Standards Committee Annual Report 2024-25. The agenda is pages 219 to 242. I would like to invite the Chair of the Standards Committee for 2024-25, Councillor Frank Locke, to present the report.
Thank you, Chair. And can I begin by congratulating you on your appointment, your election. It's been a long journey for you. Have a rest after the meeting. And can I also congratulate your Deputy Chair on her appointment. The Standards Committee has prepared and presented its annual report for the 24-25 municipal year. The report sets out the work undertaken by the Standards Committee and its subcommittee over the year. The committee itself met on 3 occasions and has dealt with a variety of matters, which are all detailed in the work programme for 24-25. They're detailed in Annex 1 to this report. In addition, the Standards Subcommittee met on 2 occasions. The committee will consider its work programme for the for the 25-26 year at its first meeting at the end of May. Before closing, can I extend my gratitude to the members of the committee and to the officers who have supported us, and especially for the contribution made by the 3 independent persons who have played a very significant role in the work of the Standards Committee. Now, this annual report was considered by the Standards Committee at its meeting on the 3rd of April, and it's now referred to Council for information, and Council is recommended to note and receive it. Thank you.
Are there any questions? And I invite the members to speak to the report. Thank you, Councillor Lott, for your report. Now on to item 16, freedom of the borough nominations procedure. Pages 243 to 268. I would like to invite which councillors? The Mayor, Karen Clark, to move the report.
Thank you, Chair. This report requests Council approve a revised procedure for the award of the freedom of the borough. A draft amended procedure is attached to the report. It is suggested that nominations are allowed to be received at any point in the year and that nominations be determined at an extraordinary council meeting, not the annual council meeting. The other suggested change is that the number of nominations per year be limited to 4, with a maximum of 2 nominations being presented to extraordinary council, which will maintain the special nature of the award. I ask Council to approve the recommendations as set out in section 1.2 of the report. Thank you.
Do you have a seconder? Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to formally second. I think one of the important bits to pick up on as well is the confidential nature of the freedom of the borough process until it gets to this meeting. This should be the first time anybody's hearing about when it was presented to the council. Should be the first time people are hearing about it. People shouldn't attempt to use cheap critical point scoring to end up finishing third in a 2-horse race to try and game the political game. This should be kept secret right until this point. Thank you, Chair.
Are there any questions? And I invite members to speak to the report. Does the mover of the report wish to exercise their right to reply?
No, just go to the vote, Chair.
We'll now go to the vote. Again, that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Right, now it's item 17, which is the chair's announcements. All I'd like to say is thanks to Councillor Lott for mentioning it was 87 when I actually first came onto this council, May 87. I think this, well, I don't think, I know because I looked at the records, there's 3 councillors still in the room that were with me back in 87. So I'd like to give a thanks to the councillors for putting their trust in me and asking me to be chair for this year. I can only be a decent chair if the chamber and the members around the chamber support me and listen and help to try and be passionate, defend the people of North Tyneside, but please respect the chair, not necessarily me, but certainly the chair. Thank you. And that concludes tonight's annual council meeting. Yeah, and the next meeting will be scheduled for 7 o'clock. So therefore we have a break until 7 o'clock when the next meeting will start. Thank you. Thank you. Can you be seated? Good evening again. Item 1 is apologies. I have received apologies from Councillor David Drummond, Julie Credit, sorry, not, that should be, I know you're here, sorry about that. John Harrison, Sandra Graham, Ian McAlpine, Sarah Burtonshaw and Martin Murray, and also Councillor Wallace. Are there any other apologies?
Councillor Lewis Bartoli and Councillor Dr. Ali Scargill.
Thank you. So item 2, declarations of interest. Can I remind members if they have any registrable or non-registrable interests in matters appearing on the agenda and the nature of the interest, they must verbally declare in respect of the items of business to be discussed at this meeting and the nature of such interests. You are also invited to disclose any dispensation and from the requirements to declare any registrable or non-registrable interests and have been granted to you in respect of any matters appearing on the agenda. Those members should also complete the card, circulate it and return it to the receptacle located at the desk of the Democratic Services Officer before leaving. Now on item 3, freedom of the borough nomination. Freedom of the borough nomination has been submitted to the council, and I ask Mayor Karen Clark, elected mayor, to introduce the report.
Thank you, Chair. I'm very happy to introduce this report and can confirm the backing of the Labour Group and myself, who are all extremely supportive of this nomination to confer the title of Honorary Freeman of the Borough on Samuel Thomas Fender, known as Sam Fender. The matter has been considered by Overview and Scrutiny Coordination and Finance Committee at its meeting on the 24th of March 2025, and then has recommended this nomination to this extraordinary meeting of the Council for approval. Sam Fender is highly worthy of the honour. He's a positive, inspiring role model for the children and young people of our borough. He's a strong, powerful advocate for North Tyneside and North Shields, and I also welcome his active promotion of equal opportunities regarding access to music and cultural opportunity. As celebrating the 80th anniversary of North Shields this year and everything the town has to be proud of, past, present and future, I think it's fitting to recognise the achievements of Sam Fender, who is, of course, the pride of the town and has become a North Shields icon. Thank you, Chair.
Councillor Bones, would you like to move this motion?
Thank you, Chair. I'm pleased to bring forward this motion for this nomination for freedom of the borough for someone who's not only achieved national acclaim, but who never stopped championing the place he calls home. Sam Fender was born and raised in North Shields, and his music is rooted in our community, its challenges, its pride, and its people. From 17 Going Under to Dead Boys, Sam's lyrics capture the real-life struggles faced by so many with honesty, courage, and compassion. Who would have thought that Howden Aldi would become an international tourist destination? He speaks openly about mental health, working class identity, and the issues that affect communities like ours. And beyond the music, he's made a real difference, supporting local charities and spotlighting good causes. What makes Sam Fender special isn't just his talent, though that's clear for all to see. It's his loyalty to his hometown. He's never distanced himself from his roots. Instead, he's lifted North Shields up with him, showing the world the strength and soul of our town, our borough and our region. This nomination is about more than music. It's about recognising someone who embodies the values and character of North Tyneside, resilience, humility and heart, a proper 21st century Geordie icon. I hope this nomination will be unanimously agreed this evening. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor Bones. Have you got a seconder? Sir Johnson.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Can I just first of all welcome Councillor Clark, or former Councillor Clark, to a new role as elected Mayor. Congratulations. Just to echo on from Mayor Clark's comments and Councillor Bones' comments, this is one of the rare moments where we all come together as one council, park our political differences and celebrate what will hopefully be a special moment for our borough. Sam Fender was born into a working class family in a terraced house in North Shields. He attended both John Spence Community High School and Whitney Bay High School. Despite his incredible success nationally and now internationally, he remains fiercely proud of his roots. And you can hear that in all of his music, from singing about the Gunner Pub as a place at the heart of the community, through to reminding us of the dark days of the Meadowell riots. Like the lettering through a stick of rock, North Tyneside runs through every aspect of his creativity. Sam has also used his voice to speak up on a range of important issues, including launching a petition to urge all UK councils to stop phone charges for helplines for vulnerable groups of people in need of emergency assistance. Sam also champions many issues we as elected members advocate for on behalf of our residents, including improving mental health, the impact of poverty and inequalities. He's often seen around our town and remains modest, unassuming and always ready to chat or to take a selfie with residents. We all know Sam as an inspiration to our young people and budding musicians and a fantastic ambassador for North Tyneside, putting us on the map around the world. Awarding Sam the Freedom of the Borough would be particularly fitting this year as it coincides with the 800th anniversary of North Shields. His nomination supports our aspiration to promote the arts and culture and to inspire others to be creative and to reach their full potential and to achieve their goals. I'm delighted to be second in this nomination. I'm sure all members gathered here tonight will give their support in recognising this unique and talented musician who loves this area as much as we all do. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Are there any questions? And now I invite members to speak to the report. Can I now invite the mover of the report to exercise the right to reply?
Happy
Councillor
to
Vaughan.
proceed to the vote, Chair.
That's 49 again. It's unanimous. Thank you. Sorry, that did finish off at 50. That concludes the business of this evening's meeting. Thank you.